Okay, that should work now. Turn it up a notch. What's up, y'all? Today, I'm going to get a little philosophical with it. One of the things that I've been super passionate about for a long time now, and even created YouTube channels around, was self-development. And I recently come across, I mean, not maybe within the last year or two, came across psycho-cybernetics. And I'm really just interested in the way, human behavior. And that's kind of really the business that we're in, is, understanding human behavior. And by understanding that human behavior, we can actually make decisions. We can create systems, put people in a process, and to hear or consume a message that reflects the behavior of the marketplace. So it's really interesting, and I'm going to dive into how that relates to the marketing. But today, what we're talking about is how to get pre-qualified high-end clients that really sets up your booking so that you can have it on an automated process, so that all you have to do is drive traffic to those places. And a lot of the stuff we're going to cover too is really the same framework, the same idea that we use across all platforms, because at the end of the day, we want our advertisements or our organic content to be congruent with what's on our sales pages and we uh, what we're offering in the marketplace, right? We want the ad to say the same thing basically that we're offering on our sales page, as well as what we're delivering as far as value, and then bringing them into an offer and an opportunity for them to do business with us and gain a ton more value and change their lives, transform themselves, right? One thing I'd like to state too is that we are in the business of transforming lives, changing lives, right? People come to us because we have something that they maybe not so much yet believe could be that opportunity that changes their life. And ultimately, we need to be able to convey that to the prospect, that we can change their life, right? And there's ways of doing that, and I'm going to get into that. But what we're going to do is do a quick, or not really quick, maybe 20-minute overview of how the system works. There's really four core elements of your marketing process, really four non-negotiables. And then they even have their own little, subcategories that need focus on too. And we'll go over those as well. So I'll share my screen so you can see my slides here. And hopefully it allows me. All right, cool. So the first thing we have to do, and this is one thing that, and the way that you want to look at this is kind of like a flywheel, right? It's four steps, but they recycle, right? As you reach the end of this four-step cycle, you start again in the analyze phase, right? You never want to stop analyzing the market, because the market is always changing. The market is always requesting new things, has new demands, has new desires, right? They've been accustomed to or been involved in other things in the past that have probably created some sort of resentment. So we need to be able to know what's going on in that marketplace, right? So we have to take a look at the prospect, obviously, first, right? Who is it that we're actually even marketing to? Who is it that we want to be in front of? And the reality is who is our ideal client? Who is the people that we can help the fastest, the most, and with the least amount of resistance? The people that we really want to help and will enjoy being a part of their lives and transforming their lives, right? Especially in high ticket, right? Because in high ticket, you're doing more one-on-one, you're doing a group scenario possibly, where it's more intimate. So having those kind of relationships is important. The relationships that you want, people that aren't going to be a hassle, people that are going to follow through on what you have to offer, right? And it's important for us, especially if we want to grow an amazing business, is to attract those people in. Because, and I was listening to this or reading it somewhere, I can't remember, but the people that we bring in, even one bad person, it's like the one bad apple kills the whole box of apples kind of scenario. That's not the actual line, but it's important because that one person could set the tone for the rest of your clients thereafter. All of your coaching client calls, that kind of stuff, and even your team, right? If you have a team and you have people that are working with your clients, then those prospects, those clients need to be on the same page, have the same kind of vision, and really understand where we're headed with the objective, right? So number one is the prospects. So what do they really need right now? As I said before, these prospects have tried things in the past. They've, been burnt out. They've seen all the ads and stuff like that. So we need to know what they've tried before so that we don't offer them the same thing. That's also going to tell us what people are currently struggling with, right? It's like the example of people that have a hard time running ads. If you were to run an ad to say how to run ads on Facebook, I mean, you can get that anywhere. It's nothing new, it's nothing exciting, and it might not actually be the actual problem that people are having. And really, it depends again on your prospect. So if it's somebody that is brand new into the marketing world and they don't know how to run advertising, maybe something like how to run Facebook ads would work. But somebody that might have more experience in running ads might need to know, what maybe like a templated system that someone could use to run ads, or, how to use this one component to maximize your ad conversions. And that's what your focus is, right? So that's what our offers and our promises need to be centered around, is what is currently going on in the prospect's life that is requiring them to take action on what you have to offer, right? So then we need to analyze the market. What's already being offered in the marketplace? Again, they've seen countless ads depending on your marketplace, but what have they already been exposed to? We don't want to create more of the same. I came out of the world of funnel hacking, which, is a great community. I love everything about it. It brought me to where I am today. But what I realized is that, most of what I was doing was creating more of the same, funnel hacking, which is funnel stealing for lack of better terms, because you're just taking what other people are saying and rephrasing it for your offers. So it just creates a lot of noise in the marketplace, right? So you don't have the ability to differentiate yourself because everyone is saying, how to get high ticket clients without X, right? It's the same templated framework, but this allows us to see how we can position ourselves differently. And we have a strategy here at Prestige to create a whole campaign that is differentiated because of the way we set up the campaign. It has nothing to do with templated how to without why kind of scenarios. Those are important to know, but there's different ways to present it. Okay. And then we need to analyze the product, and that's our own product, but as well as the marketplace's product. But in the analysis phase of the product, we're just picking it apart so we can see every component of that offer, especially in high ticket, right? When you're marketing and trying to get people on strategy sessions, because that's where the sale is made, is over the phone, especially, when you're talking $5, $10, $30,000 for a product or a service, right? You need to get them on the phone to talk with them, build a relationship, and really overcome some of their buying fears, because it's not a small investment, right? Just selling it on a webinar and going to a checkout is going to be very hard to convert, as opposed to getting them on a sales call. But when it comes to the sales call, right, we're not selling the product, we're selling the strategy session. And it's not just book a call with me, because why would I book a call with you, right? There's no point. There's no value in me booking a call. Yeah, maybe you have something that I want, but what's the value of that call? What am I going to gain? What is the benefit of me booking that call, right? So I put what is the self-image here, because again, in the beginning of this video, I was talking to you about psycho-cybernetics, and in the first 2 chapters, it talks about the self-image. The self-image is the way that we see ourselves. It's the image that we hold in our minds about who we are, right? And other people have a self-image of us, and they're all completely different. Every person's perception of us is different from our own self-image, but we need to know what that self-image is of the person, because the self-image of that person is based on beliefs and experiences that people have had in the past, and usually the experiences create the belief. So understanding what those beliefs are, the beliefs are like, oh, I'm not good enough to make millions of dollars selling my high ticket coaching on online, maybe because they never had before. Maybe they have some money issues from their parents, and it's kind of hard to get that far in depth, but just understanding what those core limiting beliefs are, so that we can understand more about who they are and talk directly to who they are at the core. Because we have to, we're not talking to a skin machine, we're talking to a spirit, something within. So we need to get to know that within, and then create a message that's resonant or vibrates. If you're in the world of that kind of world, then you understand what I'm saying. Okay, the second process is to craft the whole campaign, right? So the first part, and let's see, the systematize is the third one. So there's a quick intro to the next one. But craft, we have to have a superior offer. What I mean by superior offer is superior to the rest of the marketplace, something that's not offered, something that is a no-brainer. And especially when it comes to booking strategy calls, that's your offer, is the strategy session. Your offer is not what you have on the back end. Because that's what you're selling on the call. You're still doing the selling of the offer on the call, but we need to sell the call, which is the offer. So how do you make your strategy session or breakthrough session or whatever you label it, how do you make that superior to everything else in the marketplace, right? And the way that you do that, number one, is to know what's out there. But number two is to elaborate on the benefits that someone would get by scheduling that strategy session, and by really going into detail of how that looks and will transform them in their life. It's not a simple, hey, let's hop on a call. It's let's hop on a call because I'm going to help you do this, X, Y, and Z, and it's going to help you do this, X, Y, and Z in your business or in your life. Okay, core accepted beliefs. So again, going back to the self-image, what are the core accepted beliefs? Sorry. So just forgot what I was talking about here, but I remembered. So the core accepted belief, it's not beliefs. There's one core belief that we need our prospects to accept as they come into our system, right? By the end of our campaign, they need to accept this one core belief about our way of doing it. That way, when we present our offer, it creates the demand for that strategy session, right? So, and there's many different beliefs, and you would need to uncover those, and I'll show you where those actually go within that campaign here in a moment. And then we have an intriguing idea, again, in the funnel hacking world of templated, see what's out there and don't reinvent the wheel. Great strategy, again, not knocking it, but there are some downsides to it. So the intriguing idea is something that is new, fresh, and exciting, that captures their attention and says, wow, I've never heard of that before. I want to continue reading or listening or whatever. But that idea is something that's not offered somewhere else in the marketplace, but is related to the way that you do things, the way that you facilitate or fulfill on the needs and desires of your prospects. Then setting the hook, or emotionally convincing. Okay, so, and this is somewhat in offer in order, but and I don't know, I think actually, no, yes, this is an offer in order. The first one is the offer. We want to start with the offer, because that's ultimately where we're taking people. And then second is the core accepted belief, because that's the belief we need them to get to accept before we present their offer. So it becomes second. The idea is what captures the attention and brings them into the message so that we can convince them of the core accepted belief. We set the hook and emotionally convince. Emotionally convince is kind of the intro, is your beginning of your campaign that gets them, emotionally involved. They can feel the transformation possibly already happening, or excitement about a transformation about to happen by continuing and scheduling a strategy session. And then we educate and logically convince, right? So on the educate and logically convince, emotion alone isn't going to push someone over the edge. But if we can logically convince them with facts and educating them on our way of doing things and showing them logically, like, oh yeah, wow, I can't believe I missed that. That makes perfect sense. Right now, then it becomes, how can I do that? Right? You prove to me that what you have, the way you do it works. So now I want what you have to offer. And then systematize. So now that we understand and have analyzed the marketplace, we have crafted our campaign. Now we need to put that campaign into a system. So that system starts with obviously engagement and traffic. That's debatable, but ultimately is getting attention, and the right attention, right? As I stated in the beginning, we want to attract in people that fit our values and message, people that are going to be great to work with, right? In a one-on-one or group scenario, it's very much more intimate. So bringing in clients that are going to be great to work with allows you to have an enjoyable business and want to continue helping people. Otherwise, you're going to hate what you do and be like, I don't know if I like this so much. I might not be doing this much longer. But EBM content, education-based marketing. So, we're just educating them and ultimately overcoming limiting beliefs that they currently have, that proves and demonstrates that we are an authority, that we can, will, and want to help them. And with that content, we can use that for advertising. We can just use it for our organic engagement and stuff like that. And then register for a presentation, right? This is very basic. Most of you have already heard of webinars, but webinars have been proven time and time again, and still prove time and time again to convert. There's obviously countless other ways of doing this. And, that's really, I think, the biggest problem we face is all the gurus in the marketplace. Your attention is pulled here, there, and everywhere. Trust me, I spent at least 60 grand on just courses and events to improve my skill. And not until I recently found my current coach did I understand, wow, I need to stick to one and really go all in. But my coach did a great job of selling me. So, and that's what has me continuing to, be hungry for his content. Register for presentation, and then deliver value. Obviously, we're always delivering value, right? Education-based marketing, we're delivering value, but we're delivering value not for the intent to wow someone, or the law of reciprocity, where people feel like they owe you something because you gave them so much. Trust me, I've been there. I've created content because I'm like, I'm just give them everything they want and they'll have no other choice but to pay me. And then I learned the rules to the game. But we're delivering value, demonstrating that we can help people, can, will, and want to help them. Okay. And then we're following up. Obviously, we need to have a process though for that is behaviorally modified, so that based on their actions or inactions or engagement or a lack of engagement, we can follow up with them in perfect timing, give them deadlines and so on and so forth, that help people build trust with the brand, right? Because especially, I'm sure you've gotten a lot of follow-up emails that are like, I don't even know what this is for. I'm not even sure why you're still marketing to me. I bought your service, or whatever the case may be. So that mechanism, which in psychocybernetics talks about the cybernetic mechanism, or the success mechanism, is basically just a feedback loop, right? That feedback loop allows us to make decisions. And that's kind of what I get into on Optimize, which is the fourth and final stage of the flywheel, right? Again, this is the end of the flywheel, but it starts again with analysis. Optimize. So we're leveraging the data based on people's behavior is when we make decisions, right? And I would say that a minimum of 100 conversions, whether that's registrants, whether that's opt-ins, whether that's, paid clients, we need to have a minimum of 100 so that before we make any sort of decisions, right? Because without enough of those conversions, and really to be able to see a grander view of the people coming in and the people actually signing up, we can't actually make objective decisions. And that's why we let the data make those decisions. And we're only testing the message. We're not testing the colors and the fonts, right? The colors and the fonts, they might get you a couple, 1-2% conversion increase. But what makes the biggest impact is optimizing the message, optimizing the idea, which we talked about in craft, right? We've got an intriguing idea. So we're testing different ideas, something that's going to resonate maybe more with the marketplace. We're testing our emotional lead, our campaign to emotionally convince, as well as logically convince, right? So that's what we're testing. We're not testing the colors and fonts, right? And again, test. So to recap, we've got analyze. We need to analyze the prospect, the market, and the product. Then we can craft our superior offer, which we start with, leading to the one belief we need to get them to accept, which is, that our way of doing things can deliver on the promise that we're making, as well as the intriguing idea, something that's fresh, new, and exciting. Set the hook, but emotionally convince them. What is it called? It's seduce the heart and convince the mind, which is the logical step, right? And then systematize education-based marketing, register for the presentation, or webinar, deliver value, right? Over deliver on that value, and not delivering value for the sake of education or the law of reciprocity, right? We're not just trying to get people to feel bad and want to give us money because we gave them so much value. Follow-up is critical. The follow-up is where the money is really made. I would say at least 30% of your conversions, your sales conversions, are going to come from that email follow-up. And it makes sense, right? There's basically a 20-day, 21-day cycle or buying life cycle, where the majority of people won't buy for 21 days. So you have to continue to follow up with them, and follow up with them in a timely manner, something that makes sense with them, that's based on the behavior of them doing or not doing something, engaging or not engaging with something. Okay. And then optimize, we're optimizing with the data. We're letting the data be the feedback that tells us what to objectively change. And we're not focused on the colors or the fonts or the buttons or, the images. Like as simple as this white screen with a video on it with a compelling headline is really all that you need, especially for the webinar. But for the registration page, there's definitely going to be more value and reasons to register, but we're testing the message, not the colors and the fonts, right? Okay, so 24 minutes in. That's it for today. So you can use that 4-part system or flywheel, right? It kind of goes in a circle. As soon as you're done optimizing, you continue to analyze the marketplace so that you can continue to craft campaigns and systems and optimize even further from there. Okay, so every Friday at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, I do live trainings on funnels, how to create high ticket systems so that people will accept your message and get on those strategy calls, because ultimately that's where you're doing your selling, is the sales call, the strategy session. Okay, at prestigemediamarketing.com, I am introducing a new my own new campaign. It's in development, but you can go to prestigemediamarketing.com. It's called Behavioral Mechanics. Behavioral mechanics is, again, based on the behavior of the marketplace, the prospect. We can design and create the automations and mechanisms that create conversions into new clients, right? So that's prestigemediamarketing.com. You can also book a call with me. You can pick your industry, answer a few questions to help me get to know more about your business so I can do some back end and hop on our own breakthrough strategy so I can show you how these components can actually either work now in what you already have or to begin something that could really change your marketing forever. So that's all, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you tuning in. I still got someone on here. This StreamYard app doesn't show me the comments, so I'm not sure if you're in the group, in the Simplified Sales Solutions group, which if you're not a part of that, definitely join now. I will check on my phone, actually. But if there's no questions, then see y'all later. But let me double check. Oh, you can still see my screen. Awesome. Thanks, Lori. All right. I'll see you guys later. You have a great day, and I'll see you Friday at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time.